Welcome everyone. I'm speaking from Bendigo, Victoria, Australia, here on the Central Goldfields, land of the Dja Dja Wurrung, and I'd like to acknowledge the original people, the first people of this land, and their elders, past, present, and future, and acknowledge that their struggle is part of the broader class struggle, the struggle against imperialism and capitalism. Well, we've just finished Easter here in Australia. I've just enjoyed a long weekend. Obviously, I had the first chance to see her and see my mother and stepdad in Sydney for some time now. It's been now 16 months due to COVID-19. I could not be able to see them. But I had the opportunity to catch up with them. Also, a close friend of mine and good comrade as well, John Bailey. And if you ever come across this video, John, a big shout out to you as well. Just wanted to actually touch base on 2 points. Over the weekend, there was the Centre of Political Innovation in the US. I read a chapter out of this book written by Albert Einstein. I highly recommend actually obtaining a copy of this book. It's called We Are City Builders. It's the Centre of Political Innovation Educational Manual by Caleb Maupin. Obviously, there was other comrades that made a contribution to this, Charlotte Forrester and others that I have not aware of, but I believe they made some contributions to this as well. Got some great excerpts out of here and with questions as well. Great study guide and quite applicable here for Australia as well. You can either order it on Amazon or just even email Caleb Maupin directly. His email address is calebmaupin@gmail.com. I will put them in the comments below for any of the details if you wish to order a copy, but I highly recommend it for anyone out there if they want to advance their study further and also obviously improve their practice as well. I just want to make a comment on what's happening in Myanmar at the moment, and obviously this has been going on for some time. As you're aware, there was a military coup against the government there. But look, it's not a matter of good guy, bad guy in this situation and who's behind and the reason. And let me just rephrase that. Yeah, it is not a good guy, bad guy situation. The military is evil and the government's good. Believe me, I think it's Aung Sui, the president, she also has got her hands dirty as well, especially how she was quite complicit in the massacre of the Rohingya in that country as well, which a lot of the Rohingya, their main religion is Muslim, and a lot of them had to flee into Bangladesh. Obviously, Myanmar has been a troubled region for such time. It's a mixed mash of various groups of people. It's not just one entire group there as well. Yeah, in the past, military was aligned with China to a certain degree, not completely, and the government was more so supportive of the US, very aligned with the US. And obviously, what we're seeing now, and I'm just having to put some thoughts to this. I believe actually there are foreign agents in that country trying to destabilise that, to destabilise the whole region even further, because look what's on Myanmar's border, China. China can't afford to have an unstable region. And just recently there was a meeting of the Asian countries that included the Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore and Malaysia. And obviously they took the stance that China is non-interference in Myanmar as well, which is probably one correct way to move forward. I believe there is a national hookup tonight amongst the trade union movement to discuss what plans of actions we're to take here and what we can practically do in Australia. But I think the main thing as well, it has to be cutting to the crunch point. It has to be the main point is the people of Myanmar have to deal with their own direction and how they're going to go about it. I believe there's other armed military groups there as well, so it's not just the official military. You do have the Karen, and you've got 3 or 4 other groupings of many nationalities there, more so lined up on the Chinese border there. There has been reports that China is also amassing troops on its border, but only strictly to protect their own country and certain interests within China. Once again, I will say China was not going to be interfering in it, and I believe there are foreign agents, provocateurs that are trying to stir trouble in there to provoke China, to bring China into it. China can't afford to be involved in it, but mind you too, the US is trying to start a proxy war in that country. Well, would not surprise me at all, and we cannot be afford to looking to support that either. Yes, there is quite a problem they have got in Myanmar. So you're talking about with some basic freedoms and basic democracy. However, if we're asking for democracy, democracy for whom? For which class of people? For the workers and peasants? Yes. But for the wealthy there, well, we'll leave that up to you. You'll make your own mind about that. But I think it's vitally important is what role we can play here, and we just got to be very careful who we side with in this argument as well. I do believe, and I actually take the position too, we shouldn't be interfering ourselves internally in that country, but I think we should be giving support to those who want to build a proper democratic all people's movement here down in that country as well. We can try and achieve, so they can achieve their own direction and their own independence there. But however, that's just what we always have to keep in mind is what side are we going to take on this, and we've got to be very careful because we understand proxy wars being mostly CIA or US sponsored. Usually they've been the US is involved in this. They've been involved in various dubious reasons as well, and primarily once again for Southeast Asia and for China and other places around the Central Asian regions to keep it unstable as possible. So that's something we've always got to be kept in the back of our mind. I think, as I said, we should actually support the people in their own determination for what they want from Myanmar, not for what we think should happen as well. And obviously for those groupings that are trying to fight to make sure they do have their own governments of actions that fight for their own interests, not for the interests of multinationals and imperialism. But that's something that we've just got to keep them very ever mindful as well. Certainly, certainly we can try and show support for genuine support for those workers in struggle and the peasants that are in struggle. Certainly condemn the massacre of the Rohingya people as well, and obviously struggle for anyone that wants to fight some basic freedoms. Siding with the current government or the deposed government, I don't think would be a very wise thing because as I said, they've got dirt on their hands as well. They were very complicit about the massacre of the Rohingya and various other things as well. Do we side with the military? Of course not. We do not support with them either as well. And just keep in mind, when I said the military might have been mostly aligned with China, it doesn't say necessarily China's supporting them either. And China's had problems with their military too over the course of the years as well. So it's not just an easy black and white, good guy, bad guy argument, and this is something that we'll have to take thorough further study. And I think for us in Australia, just before we just jump the gun very quickly and go and start bragging on about human rights abuses and freedom, etc., I think we've just got to take a step back. Let's have a think of what we're dealing with here, and have that further dialogue to take a correct position moving forward with that as well. I don't profess to know everything about Myanmar. I remember when it was Burma. And that's the imperial name for it. Recently, Joe Biden, the US president, referred to that as Burma as well. So it just comes to show there are some obviously imperial watchers here who are prepared to actually go one step further and cause possibly a proxy war in that country and further destabilise the region. I just wanted to make you all aware of it. Obviously, you need to make up your own mind, but I would recommend do the research further, have a further dialogue with others about moving forward and what best way we can help to support the genuine class struggle in that country, that struggle of the workers and the peasants of that country to make a better future for themselves, not just one where we're just thinking, oh, well, we side with the current government. I think that's a very, very, very bad situation to be in if we happen to do that here. I just wanted to leave it at that. I just on a little technical thing, I couldn't use the main computer for some unknown reason for the YouTube channel, so I'm just pre-recording this and uploading it. I'm planning to do a further video this week, but if I do miss out, it's just because I have got a few things happening this week. So once again, thank you for your time, and stay tuned. Please share this far and wide. Invite your friends and anyone else you might know onto these channels. And I just want to finish it off to this is dare to struggle, dare to win. If you don't fight, you lose. Thank you.